Hello to everyone. Welcome to a series of webinars that we have created for the technical officials in order to be introduced on the rules of paratriathlon. I have next to me Eric, my colleague. Eric is the paratriathlon and multisport manager within ITU, and my name is Thanos Nikopoulos, and I'm managing the technical operations in all the events. Moving on, there is a promo video that we have created around paratriathlon with the history of this discipline and the growth. We will share it with all of you by mail, so you can actually watch this video and understand a little bit of the history and where this discipline goes. Where we are now with paratriathlon. Paratriathlon at this point of time has grown a lot. We have 5 different levels of events within ITU. Obviously, it's the World Championship, it's the Pioneer event, and on the World Championship, we are offering an elite paratriathlon and open paratriathlon race. We have the World Paratriathlon Series. In 2017, we will have 3 events, which these are top events where the best paratriathletes they are racing side by side. Obviously, the Continental Championships, the Paratriathlon World Cups, which is again a new series. It used to be called Paratriathlon International Event, now it has become a World Cup, and obviously the National Championship. There are clear pathways on how the athletes can qualify for these events and how many points they can get from each of these events, which are clearly described inside the competition rules. Classification. The best person to explain to us the classification around paratriathlon is, of course, Eric. So, Eric, what can you share with us?
Thank you. So, for after Rio, obviously, we've done some adjustments and refinements of the system. We now have 6 sport classes, as we used to before 2014. And as you know, the athletes are grouped into different sport classes according to the extent of the activity limitation caused by their impairment, and obviously when performing the sport of paratriathlon. So we start with the athletes that are using hand bikes and racing wheelchairs. This is now called the PTHC, stands for a hand cycle, and they have specific different equipment. And then we have athletes with vision impairment, the PTVI. That's what used to be called the PT5 in the previous system. And then we have the ambulant classes that go from PTS2 to PTS5 now. The athletes with vision impairment, they are using an athlete throughout the entire race, the same athlete from the same gender, and they use a tandem for the bicycle. So, for instance, we have now a picture of an athlete, and I can ask Thanos, what do you think this athlete, which kind of class do you think he belongs to?
So, Eric, from what you explained to us before, from the moment that this athlete is using a hand cycle, I guess he belongs or she belongs to the PTHC category. Correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Okay. We have this athlete who's using a daily wheelchair, and we could also make some assumptions, but what class do you think this athlete belongs to?
I think this is a more complicated case because we don't see what kind of equipment that this athlete is using on the bike and the run. So, for example, if this athlete is using a double prosthesis, so he can ride a bicycle, then obviously he's not belonging to HC. So I think that it's not really clear on where this athlete belongs now. Classification has to evaluate.
We don't only have athletes using daily wheelchairs to get to T1, as Thanos mentioned. They might be seeking to reach their assistant devices, etc. So we would have to wait and see a little bit more. This athlete, there are 2 athletes in the picture. What would we believe the class is?
Again, we have an athlete who is racing with a guide. The athlete is wearing blackout glasses. So I'm quite sure that this athlete belongs to PTVI category.
Yeah, and we see also a tether, so they are attached together during the run, and this belongs to the PTVI. This other athlete, for instance,
is using a race wheelchair, so definitely he is belonging to PTHC category.
That's correct. This other athlete on the top of the picture.
You know, obviously he's a standing category athlete. Now, which category this person belongs, I think it's only classification can actually say. You cannot really differentiate on which class. Probably you can, but the rest of us will have to wait for the category.
Yeah, I mean it's tricky, as Thanos mentioned, because in this case we have a clear separation by athletes that have a functional knee or not, but it's not clearly identified by the picture. This athlete is likely to fall into the PTS4 class now, but yes, it would need a more in-depth analysis or some extended knowledge and classification. And then another couple here.
They're using a tandem, so definitely they belong to VI category.
Yep. And then this other athlete.
Again, it's definitely standing category, but which category, I think the classification should say.
Yep.
Okay, then obviously we have specific trained technical officials for assessing the athletes. We call them classifiers. They go through a specific training courses and they have their own certification process as well, similar to the technical officials. What is important for us to know is that these persons are considered as technical officials. So if you are a technical delegate in an event or a chief race official or a referee, and there is a classification in place, you definitely need to consider these officials as part of your team. I was trying to put a diagram that's showing the structure. So for the classifiers, they are reporting directly to the technical delegate and the race referee. So any outcome that comes from classification, then this definitely needs to be incorporated, because we can easily have changes in the categories or people that they have to go through a protest or a reassessment. So the technical delegate and the referee need to be aware. Final, the distance that we have chosen in ITU for the World Championship is a sprint distance. So for all of you, I'm sure that you know it's 750 swim, 220 kilometers bike and 5 kilometer run. And it's quite important to point here that accurate distance does matter. As we'll see later on, there will be a standard starts system for specific categories. So this has been calculated according to the distances that we have in the format. So we cannot have, especially on the run, longer runs or shorter runs from what is applicable. So this is the conclusion of the first webinar. There will be another 9 coming up, and we hope to see you on next ones that are coming. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you.